Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Trade Ideas Live Trading Room recap for Friday, October the 4th. My name is Barry Anderson, moderator of your trading room. If you have any questions for me, you can use this email address right here. And this is a link to get into our free room. You do not have to be a member of Trade Ideas to get into our room. I open the room every morning at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. I go up, and that's when I start to share my screen, get live on the mic. And I go up to 3:30 Mondays to Thursdays and up to 3 o'clock on Fridays. In the email you're getting, you will see a promo code for 15% off, either the first month or the entire year of a Trade Idea subscription. So, I guess the topic today is patience. First of all, I just want to show you what happened on my watch list today. And not very many alerts, but I guess it's certainly going to be quality over quantity. So the Avaya is the one I took. I actually took the meat also, but nothing really happened with this one. But the Avaya is the one that I took. You see where the alert was? 12:58. And this did nothing for the longest time. I was in this one, wasn't at 12:58. I actually got in at 12:68, held on through all of this. They have done some kind of a deal with Ring, RNG, and you just see, look at RNG, what it did. And I kept watching this. This is kind of the basing for RNG, and that's kind of what the Avaya was doing at the same time, but for whatever reason, Avaya decided to pop out of that base. So, I say often that boredom is not a reason to get out of a trade. So, as long as, well, you have to have a stop in place, of course, but I was in that one at 12:68. It dipped down a couple of pennies below every now and then, but it basically just kind of held right there and then get rewarded, And I've already taken some out at 12.95, put the mark here, just in case it cannot get through 13. So I was in at 12.68. It's close enough. And again, just in case it can't get through that 13, if you look on the daily chart, it probably has a lot of resistance right around 13.31. Let's take a quick look. And I think you have to back this out a little bit. Yeah, this, not a lot, but there is some resistance right around this area. You can see looking left, there's the high. And if you discount that topping tail, there's the body. So there might be some resistance, but listen, for it to get through 13 will be a struggle probably. But if it does, that's the next area probably right there. Now, if it can get through that, then you really have clear sailing to that 14 level. Again, when I say those sorts of things, I don't mean it's going to get there. I have no idea if it's going to get there. It's just that when you look at the chart, you don't have to worry that much about any chart resistance. Now, the SGH is another case. Take a look back to my 15-minute chart. And unfortunately, for me, I didn't take this trade because the spread was pretty crazy and it was sort of chopping a lot. And then eventually it did settle down, and that's, probably my fault for not getting into this one. 25.93, and it hit a high, almost, it's about $1.50, 27.44, a high. Now, the interesting thing on this one is that it had earnings after hours yesterday. There was the initial reaction to earnings. That's that mauve area. So that's the after hour action. And then this morning, now it did recover, but then this morning it was still down. Now, it's funny because I was hoping, I said in the room yesterday that, we all knew that this was going to have earnings. And, this is the single stock window with the insiders, okay, the insider action. And it's a very small sample size. Only three stocks that I've been able to locate over the last couple of weeks that had earnings, had a pop in the when we started the day. It had a pop. It had a pop in the pre-market, and it continued, and then they faded. And I was looking at this insider transactions, and the three of them that faded had all sorts of where the insider transactions was over 90%. And so I was thinking, okay, is this something that we can maybe keep looking at? The problem is that we're not in earnings season at all, and there are very few companies releasing earnings. Now this one was, and it's interesting. Had this happened in the pre-market, I would have definitely been interested in fading this one, but it didn't happen in the pre-market, and it has really recovered well. So anyway, that was the SGH, and then the meat. The meat was frustrating. This was an AI alert from yesterday. I did end up getting into this one around 418. It did pop up to 425. The problem probably is that the 200-day moving average is at 445, and maybe a lot of people are looking at that. It still has a lot of room, and that is really what was attractive. Let's get the weekly chart. You'll see it better on the weekly chart. And you see, this is why it was so attractive. So it was an AI alert yesterday. The buy was at 363, exited at 4, and this is kind of a continuation. So, I'll keep watching this. I'll watch this on Monday. Yes, the 445 may stall it. On the other hand, it may not. You just don't know. But, obviously it has a lot of room looking left, almost a couple of dollars to that $6 level. So we'll have to see if it has even a third-day continuation. On the short side, I did take this HPQ. I see it's back down again. HPQ announced that they're laying off 9,000 people over a 3-year time period. So it's funny, a lot of times a stock will pop because of that, but it didn't. There probably some other news. Obviously, they're doing it for cost-cutting measures, but I think they're guiding lower and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, there was the alert at 1667. I ended up taking that short right here at 1662. It did get down to 1645, and I covered in this area, sort of an average, and not really much shaking there. The CFMS, nothing really happening on that one. This one is still interesting to me later on. It has actually popped. It moved off the 1693, did get down to the 1680. It's had just a terrible IPO though. It's been moving down. The other one that I did take was the PFNX. That was kind of a quick short. And now I noticed it's had a nice pop. But I took the short right because I saw this green bar ignored. So here's a downtrend. There's the green bar, totally engulfed by the previous red candle. And then the next candle is red. Okay, so I waited on this. And so it broke below, or was slightly below the low of that green candle, which is kind of the trigger. So this is showing us a potential short setup. So I waited on this a little bit. It did pop up, back up over, and then I took that short at 724, and then I got rewarded. A big red candle down. I covered some at 710, got down below the 696, and then I covered just over 7. And then it popped. It just had a tremendous pop. So, I guess I was fortunate, but I was able to capture that fairly quick move, within 30 minutes, quick move on a nice percentage move down for me. And that's it. That wasn't on the watch list, but obviously I do take a look at other things other than just on the watch list. But and I don't mind the fact that they're only 3 and 2 or 3 and 3. They weren't. Especially the SGH. That's all. It's the only trade you would have needed. If you could got in at the 25.93 and kind of held on. You look at this 5-minute chart or 15. It's not as bad. But at the beginning, you've got these topping tails and bottoming tails, and it was very spready. So it just kind of prevented me. The other reason is that because it was an earnings play and it gapped down a lot, I thought, well, man, for all those reasons it gapped down, they're still in place. So, potentially it's just going to really give it up again. And, obviously I was wrong. So anyway, that was it for the trades today. And I want to get back into the room. So I'm going to bring back the capture program. So I hope everybody has a great weekend, and I'll be opening the room bright and early Monday morning at 9 o'clock Eastern. So again, have a great weekend, and I hope to see you in the trading room Monday morning. Bye-bye.